The juices within me.
Yeah, Pete work. I'm moving no research. See, that's the difference between making a bag or losing a bag. Well, it's like work. Research. BOT make the tech work. And Underdog, you like Cap.
Oh, we got the Asian connection with Hoppy. Big news, big catalyst, big movement. This is Underdog Researcher. Listen, I've been looking at the same things you're looking at when it comes to Hoppy. The reality is people are saying that there's nothing going on. And for me, I'm a little confused when I hear that statement because I see a lot going on. I guess if you don't know where to look, you would think the same thing. What I'm seeing is a movement that's going to happen versus movement that is happening. I'm looking at kinetic energy, if you will, that energy that is active, right? We look at that. What is the active energy versus the dormant stored energy for the Hoppy project? Well, I talked about it, and this is what I want you to do. I've taken the video that I did about 2 weeks ago. I put it on my private network about the Asian connections with Hoppy, and I'm releasing it now to you that of the people who subscribe to my private network have had a chance to see it first. I'm going to let you see it. Now, what did I talk about with that? Well, this is what I talked about. Bitcoin at one point was 20,000. It dropped all the way down to under 10,000 at one point. And everyone says, I wish I'd have jumped on Bitcoin. Bitcoin at one point was 50,000. It dropped all the way down. And everyone said, I wish I had jumped on Bitcoin. We got to stop chasing price actions and start paying attention to the bigger picture. Network effects. Network effects, price action, people. Do we see what's going on with Hoppy? Well, if you look at the price action alone, then yes, Hoppy went from a high market cap, and I say high, it was in the hundreds, let's say about 135 at the all-time high, and has been reduced down to 8 million. That's about a 90% total decrease. Who would be excited about that? I know I wouldn't be. I know I wasn't. But depending on where you got in, if you got in underneath a $500,000 market cap and it's at an $8 million market cap, you eating, right? You're doing well. If you got in when it was a little bit higher than 8 million, you went down a little bit, depending on where you went in. That's the just nature of the beast. But does it really matter about how it goes up and down? Just like I gave you an example with Bitcoin, no one ever sees what it's going to do with its potential. It's always after the fact. It's always hindsight. And hindsight is 2020. Well, I see something going on with the Asian market with Hoppy. Now, I could go into the intrinsic difference between the American markets and the markets in England and the markets in Asia. I could do that. You could talk about the European markets, the Asian markets, U.S. markets. We could do that. But, this is going to be a short dive. But I did talk about the Asian connection in my video. Now, why is that important? Well, let me bring this up and then let's you look at the video I'm going to release that is from my private network. This was from the video on my private network of why the Asian connection is important and why we need to pay attention to it. And I'm going to show you something interesting. Right now, you can see yourself on YouTube. Check this out. We're not in competition, folks. We are coupled, as I told you, November 9th of 2024, the United States and Asian countries like China. We are coupled, whether you like it or not. Forget the narratives. And that coupling is important because these altcoins will rise with a good economy in Asian countries, not only our country. That's interesting. That's interesting that I said that to you. I got this information based on what I saw with 3 major exchanges. And one, it was actually 2 major exchanges and 1 publication, Bitcoin China, talking about Hoppy. But why does it matter? I've been talking about the Asian connection with projects for years. Today's news being reported about Bitcoin in China building all these Bitcoin mining apparatuses in Arkansas and 14 other states, generating lots of money. I thought back in a few years ago that China was out the business of Bitcoin. Apparently they're not. And then we saw a video from the president where the president discussed the fact that he's big on crypto because he feels there's no choice because China is big on crypto and they are there and they don't back the American dollar. And his only concern is that these other currencies, crypto, can hurt the American dollar, and that China is not trying to help the American dollar. So the logical argument for this is that China will seek out in their large buying power anything that will not help the American dollar. Therefore, crypto would be the exact same thing that this executive office has told us in administration is that they have an incentive. We're seeing the incentive. And we see these examples and we ask ourselves, why does it matter? Well, China, Asia matters. Not just China, but Asian countries. We're talking about Japan, China. We're talking about all these big, large areas. When I say we're talking about that, I want you to understand the Asian connection. So in my video that I have for you, that I've provided for you a couple of weeks ago, I went through 40 minutes of different things that I saw with this Asian connection. What I think we are seeing here is the beginning of the continuation of what we've always seen when it comes to the Asian market, a lack of knowledge for most people who are not in that demographic, who are not in that ecosystem, thinking that is no big deal, where I see it being a big deal. Hoppy is situated with that. The meme being discussed by Bitcoin China is a large marketing platform that announced Hoppy on July the 14th of 2025. Then it was listed on KuCoin, DGen, Spark listing. And then we see that happen on around the 24th. And then HTX said that they're in competition. The commonality is Asia. The commonality and pattern is Asia. Why are they marketing and pushing it toward Asia? HTX is led by Justin Sun, used to be Hoppy Network. Now that's a large exchange. We saw that it brings in $117 billion. So when we look at Hoppy from the standpoint of it's just a meme coin, it is a potential money generating meme project. And if it potentially can generate money and take money from the hands of people in that country who are exposed to it because they want to invest in it, and it shoots up the price of Hoppy because of that new demographic being exposed to it, then you, by being associated with it, by getting into it before this happens, you're in a good position. But I know you don't want to hear about all that. You don't want to hear about all that because you may not see anything past technical analysis. Technical analysis can tell you a snapshot in time of historical price action, and that is all you get. But it doesn't tell you what can occur in an ecosystem. You have to research that, and that's what I did, and that's what I do. So look at this new video that I have releasing to you, Hoppy Coin, the frog headed for the moon, new catalyst 2025-2026. This is now available to watch here. So make sure that you go out, subscribe to my platform. If you want to be a part of my private network, link is in the description of this video, and you can do that too. You can get the information first, and then you can get the micro learning and all the different pieces of the puzzle so you can be the most well-educated person when it comes to talking about that topic or subject matter, because you are in it to win. So what I think is about to happen, I gave it to you in this 40-minute video. So make sure you go check it out, folks. Hoppy, the Asian connection, is here, and it is moving, and we're about to see some huge movement. It's up to you if you want to see it. Take care. Underdog Research Channel.
Got a black card that was stunning, boy, I took it too far, and I didn't even really have to. But money sweet, I got a sweet tooth. Drop a business bitches like I'm Babe Ruth. And all I had to do was pick a truth. Pick and choose, it's a research. You a fool if you chase hype, bro. Homies losing, they don't peak, bro. It's hella better on the side, bro. Parabellum with the guys, bro. War ready, what's the acronym? Wealth analysis, research. And that's freedom is a synonym. Yeah, swear to God, when I'm putting work, I'll be reeling in. Yeah, swear to God, if you did the same, you could get it in. Yeah, my pastime is counting up all these dividends. Yeah, I heard you was going to the moon, I need it.